Greetings to all of you at St. John's. These are certainly great days, and this coming Sunday we will be opening our church for the first time for public liturgies. It's a big step for us, and we want to be with you as you do this and help you understand today. So the gospel this Sunday is about picking up our cross. And certainly these last months we have been carrying our cross because we have had no chance to gather as a community and no chance to receive the bread of life. It's been a big loss for us, but I think each of you probably has found a way. So now we invite you back. So this Sunday we rejoice to have you come, aware that some of you still may not feel like it's safe to leave your homes and you still want to watch it on TV, which is fine. You are dispensed from the obligation of Mass. But those who want to can come to the Eucharist at the church. And we've kind of dressed it up. Our color, of course, this season now is green, the summer ordinary time, so our church is festive, and we have banners up and everything. But as you come to the front door, you'll notice the door is open. And we want to kind of eliminate touching things as much as possible, so you can really enter the church freely. And I'm going to turn this over to Jackie, who now will kind of show you how to come into the church.
All right. Well, here we are. We're in the church. Welcome, everyone. We're happy to see you here again. And as you come in, you're going to see a lot of blue tape on the floor. Please notice that blue tape is really giving you the 6-foot distancing. Reminds us to stay that distance apart. When you come in, if you would like to drop your weekly offerings into the boxes before Mass, you're able to do that. John and Ezra made some beautiful collection boxes for the weekly offering. We have one here, one right across from it, and then we will have a third one in door number 4. Those will be the only entries that we have open are the main entrance and then door number 4. So you can drop your collections there before or after Mass, or bring them in during the week if that's your preference. When you come in, we are asking everyone to please stop at one of the tables. There are 4 here in the main entry, and then again there's another one in just inside door number 4. So there's a couple of things that are going on at these tables that we're asking for your cooperation. We do have hand sanitizer. One of the things that we want everyone to do beforehand. If you do not have a mask, we do recommend that you bring your own mask from home whenever possible. If you do not have one, we do have fresh face coverings here. The white ones are for adults. The black ones are youth-sized. And we just have some reminders on how to use those, how to use the masks. Lots of reminders for this time during COVID. And then also at the table, you will find a worship aid, the bulletin, and in that bulletin is our worship aid that you can follow along for our prayers, the glory to God, the listing of the readings, the creed. And then just a reminder, how and when do we receive Holy Communion? Just some information there for you. So it does serve as a worship aid. We cannot have you put it back down on the table though. So if you do take one and you don't want to take it home, please just drop it in the recycling container. If you've worn a mask, you've taken a mask after Mass, you can drop it here in the used face coverings. There's one of these at all of the tables. One other thing I wanted to mention too is that if you're one of those who like to follow along with the readings, we do have our missals here in church. If you would like to take one with you, you can take it home. If you've got friends that are home or elderly that maybe would like to follow along, you are welcome to take one of our missals home with you. Bring it back here, back and forth. We're asking for a small contribution if you care to, but we have lots of them. We have lots. Again, if you take one, we cannot have you put it back. So we would just ask that you either recycle it or take it back and forth with you. We do have the restrooms marked with some reminders as well. We can only have one person in the restroom at a time, and just wait for the next person. Again, some 6-foot distancing there. And there's sanitizer there if you would like to clean beforehand. We will be cleaning after each Mass, but we won't be cleaning in between use. So you can do that on your own if you choose to. All right, so we've come into Mass. We find our place. We will have ushers here, but we believe that for the most part, you can probably all find a place on your own, keeping that distancing, as the pews are marked off accordingly. So it may be the ends of the pews that we're filling mostly, but occasionally there might be some of the larger pews where we can fit 1 or 2 people in between. So just keep that in mind. All right. One of the other important things that we want to stress today is how we do communion. Communion will happen after Mass. So Father John will be giving, after he receives Eucharist himself, he will bring out the vessels for our communion ministers to come forward after Mass. He'll make any announcements if there are any, and then he will say the prayer after communion and the final blessing. And at that time, he will then venerate the altar, and he will leave the sanctuary. It's at that time then that our communion ministers will come forward, and we just want to show you a little bit about how communion is going to work. We will do 2 sections at a time. We are calling, as we're facing the altar, section 1, 2, 3, 4. So when the communion ministers come forward, go ahead and do that. So section 1 will come first. So you can come on forward. We do have, just a reminder, we do have sanitizer again as you come forward for communion if you choose to. So at the same time, we will do section 1 and section 3. So if you watch them as they come forward, this allows us to not have people passing in the aisles. So by doing this, and the ushers will wait then until all of section 1 is finished and all of section 3, doing those at the same time. When they are all finished, and they follow the arrows, but you're going back the same way you do normally at Mass. Those sections, you'll follow the same path you always have. After those sections are all finished, then the ushers will start with sections 2 and 4. So again, they're not passing the aisles. And you'll see how they're receiving the Eucharist, coming up to the table, reaching their arms out, stepping to the side, and receiving the Eucharist. And the communion minister is doing their best not to touch hands, so we appreciate that as well.
Rachel went the wrong way.
Just wanted to show you the importance. All right, so after everyone has received the Eucharist, just so you know, you are welcome to leave, or it's okay for you to leave right after you receive communion, or you can go back to your pews. A lot of people like to have that quiet time in prayer after they've received the Eucharist. But we will still only have those entries open. So doors, main entrance and door 4. And when you leave, again, we would ask that you, just reminders, drop your worship aids in the recycling if you don't want to take it with you. Drop your masks if you borrowed one from us. And sanitize your hands. Again, we recommend that. And if you didn't get a chance to drop your offering, we do have the collection boxes back there. One other thing we just want you to be aware of is we don't know how many people are going to be here. We're excited that we know we can have at least 100 plus people up here in the sanctuary. But if we do have more, then we can go downstairs into Matthew's Hall, and we have the projector, we can see what's going on, and we can hear the Mass from downstairs in Matthews Hall. And we have chairs set up down there as well so that you can do your distancing from down there. And we would then need to have someone come down for communion, and one of the communion ministers from up here would go downstairs then, or both of them, and we would receive communion that way. So I think we've hit on everything. We have lots of actors today, so we thank everybody. So we're really looking forward to seeing you again. We look forward to seeing families, young and old. But as Father said, the important thing is that you stay safe, be comfortable. So we celebrate this weekend. God bless.